I'm Andy,
And I'm Mark. Good morning.
and this is Strange Stuff Podcast, and welcome to a very special episode.
Oh dear, that sounds ominous.
I'll give you a clue how ominous it is.
Oh, that's a good one. Is that the Addams Family?
No, because I would have to be paying copyright fees.
Oh, I see. So you made that little piece of music.
It's the Timu Addams Family theme.
Oh, I am getting more and more sort of impressed with this AI music.
Oh, have you been listening?
No, only because because I had done an inquiry on this Babylon burning thing.
Yeah.
I get feeds now on, I think it's Facebook or something, for this woman, Kelly something or other, who does really good, obviously animated AI video, but the music itself is always good as well. And I happened to be watching some fellow who was a music producer, and he said, on literally a video of him giving instructions online of like an indie independent female vocalist, give me a picture of her, give her a name, and I want a song about lost love or something.
Yeah.
Press the enter button, and literally 4 seconds, because they were 4 seconds later, you get a picture of a dark-haired girl with a name Cindy Wilde or something, I can't remember what it was, and text and music to a song that was actually pretty good. And the producer was, he was saying, well, how do real people, how are they going to compete? Because this is the start of the technology. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in 2 years' time or a year's time? So anyway, I don't know why I started on that. Oh no, bless you. Are you getting sick?
Not sick, but Sweden.
Oh,
it's winter.
Well, finally this morning my back is better. So
but is it 100%?
It's pretty close to it because I am sensitive. I did actually a very light training session yesterday, and it felt okay.
That's what killed Brian.
What do you mean, what killed Brian?
To train when he was obviously should have been in bed.
No, he didn't. He died of stomach cancer.
Throat cancer, I think.
Oh, was it? You think it was the exercise session?
Because he was always like, oh, fucking hell, I could hardly move this morning, so I went on my 5-mile run.
Actually, you're right. Yes, Brian was. I don't know if he was into running. He was certainly into hiking a lot.
Yeah, he always did it while he was injured.
No, that's right. You're right, actually. And he was in a bad fit. Had he had an accident? I can't remember if Brian had an accident at some stage because he was a bit wobbly.
I think he was just worn out.
Yeah, you're right. Sliten, as they say in Swedish. A little bit of exercise gives you a little bit of worn outness. That's how I feel, worn out.
Run down.
So were you affected by the budget in the UK yesterday?
Yes.
Your £2 million pad in, where did you used to Crouch End, is suddenly...
Is that the threshold, 2 million?
There's a couple of thresholds. I think it's 2, 5 and 10. And I think the 2 million one was £2,500 extra, and the 5 million one was £4,500.
I love the way that the whole thing was leaked before.
Well, it wasn't leaked. It was a mistake. You mean the Office of Budget Responsibility?
I don't know, but the thing is that during question time,
yeah,
the whole budget was leaked online.
Well, it was the Office of Budget Responsibility actually gave their report on the budget 45 minutes before the actual budget was released, or before she gave her speech.
Fucking the levels of incompetence in that government, in every fucking department.
But income tax thresholds remain frozen until 2096 or something.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, it's not. No, that's what I'm saying. It's a bad thing because of inflation.
Yeah.
Effectively, you're taking a hit. Because if salary go up in relation to inflation, then you're still having to pay tax on the old sum. But
Well, the problem with an income tax freeze is that employers will then see a great opportunity to have a wage freeze.
maybe. I don't think people have had wage increases in donkey's years. That's the problem. Because the period of time, do you remember? I can't remember when it was, when inflation was sort of heading towards double digits and no one's salary was going up.
No,
It was, but anyway, so the budget's out of the way and we'll see if she survives or if she's forced to resign. Rachel Reeves.
I mean, you can't win as the Chancellor. I mean, she did the pensioners a favour, increased the pension, £550 a year.
Oh, was it? Yeah. And she's kept the triple lock, which everybody knows is going to have to go at some stage.
But she did do away with this 2-child benefit cap, which I do not understand.
Oh, that's right. Well, that benefits the less wealthy in the world.
It benefits the fucking mass breeders.
Oh, God.
No, sorry, seriously, don't have 17 kids if you can't fucking afford them. And don't encourage them to have more kids by giving them more money. It's just nonsense.
Yeah, that's a little bit short-sighted. I mean, desperately need... It is, absolutely, because who's going to pay...
The people who are breeding are the worst fucking people in the country. The people who don't want to work, who don't do the job, who don't contribute to society.
Well, the thing is that the shortage of labour is going to become so intense.
It's not going to be helped
extreme.
By a fucking plethora of 17-child families that don't even speak English, unfortunately.
Now we're getting to the root of the issue.
It's a fact. I can't be held responsible for stating facts.
Where do you get your facts from, Andy? Talking bollocks as usual.
I don't know anyone who's got more than 2 bloody kids, personally.
It's a good question. Do I know anybody in my circle of friends that has... Oh, yes, my sister. She's got 4 children.
Is she married to an Arab gentleman, perchance?
No, I don't think Jeremy is of Arab descent, no. And... No, you're right. Her children... Oh, no, even her children have... One of them has 3 children. And the others have 2.
Well, I mean, it's very rare that you'll find a family of indigenous people with a big brood of kids these days. Very rare.
Well, as I say, if you think of the ageing population, not only will there not be an old age pension by the time, not probably my children, if they were living in England, I don't think they'd get a pension. They're in their 30s, like Hannah. Well, Hannah's not 30, but is she 30?
Good God, no.
No, of course not. No, she's 24, 25. She probably won't get a state pension in Sweden. She may do if she's lucky. But this is what I don't understand. Everybody ranting on about anti-immigration this, anti-boat people. I'll tell you what, literally, in a few years' time, we are going to be paying people to come to the UK or Sweden or Germany.
We're going to need to pay people who actually want to work.
Yeah, but this is where there's no point.
The statistics have shown...
No.
And it can be proven.
No, it can't.
It can be proven. Look,
immigration have been net beneficiary to the UK economy for the last 20 years.
Immigration is not beneficial to anybody. This is the biggest problem.
No.
Because they do not contribute to the economy.
What are you talking about? They do. I'm saying they're net contributors to the economy.
What, illegal immigrants?
Well, illegal immigrants represent about 0.4% of the immigration numbers in the UK, so it's just a mute point. There's no point in even talking about it.
Wrong.
It is.
You are so wrong.
I'm not.
Thousands a week coming in illegally represents 0.4%.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is.
So how many millions do we have?
No, I think last year it was something like I think the not net migration, but the number of immigrants that came into the UK was about 740,000. So nearly a million, actually.
That's legal ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What about the illegal ones?
Yeah, I'm saying, and that was about, I don't know what it was, 35,000 or something.
Holy motherfucking God.
No, but anyway, you're missing the point.
The island is too small.
Yeah, but that's nonsense
as well.
How can you
fit all those people?
It's got nothing to do with the size of the island. It's the amount of infrastructure. Yeah.
Because without the hospitals, the train stations, the public transport, and the doctors and the dentists.
Yep. All of those
have.
Yeah, but just think of what you're saying, Andy. All of those places that you've just named, hospitals, railway stations, they're all staffed by predominantly immigrant people.
And I tell you what,
you just skip over it.
When my daughter was born in the Dick Whittington Hospital in the middle of London.
What? Hannah was born in the UK?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
I felt like I was in a fucking third world country.
Oh, God.
The whole setup in that hospital was fucking awful.
I think we're going to have to stop this. What day is it today? Thursday morning. Don't agree with you, Andy.
It was awful.
Oh,
there was no care. It was like being under Mother Teresa in India. We were there to suffer.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with the population. That's got everything to do with the NHS having been starved of funds 25 years ago. Who was in power?
And also staffed by fucking incompetent, ignorant people.
Yeah, but this is where you just stop. Well, who was in power 25 years ago? Tell me. Was it the Tories? It probably was the Tories.
I don't know. I was on drugs.
So, unfortunately, it's not been a great start to your morning, Andy, because, as I say, we need the immigration because otherwise no one is going to be able to look after the thousands of... I don't know how bad it is in Sweden in terms of ageing population.
Have you seen the stories of what happens in those care homes?
Yes, I have. It's horrific.
So, I'd rather not be looked after by them, thank you.
What do you mean, them?
Well, anyone.
Exactly, anybody.
I don't want to go to a care home. Let's go back to the good old days where you used to keep the old people in the corner, feed them fucking mushy cornflakes.
Yes.
And feed them nappy once a week.
Is that what you used to do with your gran? Put her in the corner and feed her a bowl of cornflakes once a week?
I think I met one grandmother once.
Oh, really?
And that was we just didn't have contact. Well, not that we didn't have contact, but my mum's parents, I think, were already dead.
When you were in your memory lifetime, your grandparents on your mum's side were already dead, were they?
Yeah, I think so. And my dad, his mum was alive, and we met her once, but she was already senile as fuck when we went to Ireland. And she didn't really have a clue who we were.
Oh, really? Oh, no. I mean,
she died fairly shortly afterwards.
I wouldn't say I had a relationship, but I certainly knew my grandparents on both. No, actually, not my grandfather on my father's side, but the other three I knew. I mean, met regularly. Nonna on the Italian side and Grandmama on my French side.
Oh, Grandmama.
Yeah. Grandpapa and Grandmama.
Grandpapa. Grandpapa.
Oh.
May I have some teams to buy some sweeties from the sweet shop?
I'll tell you the other piece of news that I still don't quite understand what's going on there, not surprisingly. But Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Who's that?
So what is the story that Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, that quite assertive, let's do her a favor and call her an assertive Republican who was a Trump sycophant. And then they fell out because, and give her credit, I don't give her credit for much, but for standing up to release the Epstein files, she was very persistent. But completely out of the blue, she resigned last week. I mean, she literally just said, right, January the 5th, I'm out. So why would she be such a strident defender of certain issues, willing to stand up against Trump because they became actual enemies, as obviously all of Trump's allies do in the end, but then she suddenly just resigns? I think
she saw the writing on the wall. Maybe she got a memo that was meant for somebody else.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm thinking. To cause someone to resign in that way when she's such a public, she's not easy to intimidate. But I tell you what, you can just imagine someone gives her a call at 3:00 in the morning. Oi, Marjorie, if you don't step in line, you won't be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
In an American accent, obviously, because they don't have many East End thugs in Washington or wherever she comes from.
I'll do it for you. And Marjorie, tomorrow you
No, that's French, you idiot.
Otherwise, you will be having a visit from the guys wearing the black.
Anyway, so, that was quite bizarre. I don't know what's going on there. But, and again, you just don't know if it's true, but it's amusing even if it's not true. The American spokesperson, that Levitt woman, who's literally, defending these ridiculous policies. It ended up that one of her family was arrested by ICE, and they don't know where. They don't know where they are. They just end up in Argentina or Somalia.
Well, we weren't sure where he came from, so we sent him to Norway.
I mean, it's just, there's no limit to the amusement, entertainment that these people, unfortunately, with the suffering of other poor innocents. So that was going on. I mean, it's quite a lot's happened. We've had the budget. We've had these ridiculous stories out of America. And I'll tell you what, did you see that fire in Hong Kong overnight?
Yeah, 7 tower blocks in one go.
Yeah, and I'll tell you...
That must have been deliberate.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was they were being renovated or something, and they had... I'll tell you what, they had bamboo scaffolding.
Yeah, but they always have had.
Yeah, but these things are like 30 stories high with bamboo scaffolding.
Incredibly strong.
Well, obviously. But did you ever get out to somewhere like Hong Kong?
No, unfortunately.
I'll tell you what, it's not surprising that other buildings caught fire. Everything. You're literally 5 meters from the next tower block.
Oh, no, I wouldn't like that.
Well, of course you wouldn't like it, but I'll tell you what, and the size of the apartments in places like...
It'd be good for the window wanking. Because you'd have an audience even if you were on the 38th floor.
God. No, there must be some etiquette. Etiquette.
In terms, your curtains, turn on your lights, and then drop your keks, and you beat the bishop. Go for gold.
Because there are some countries where, I remember Holland is quite bizarre. Holland, you have street-facing houses where no one bothers to draw the curtains. You're just walking along, and I'm not talking about the red light district. I'm talking about normal residential streets. They just don't close curtains.
Yeah, I don't even have curtains.
Well, you don't have. Do you have any neighbours?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, you have a curtain. You have a sound curtain.
Yeah, but that's on one window. But
so what do you have on your bedroom window?
Next to me, I have a door which leads to my little balcony and a big double window. There's no curtains there. And in my bedroom, no curtains.
Yeah, you do have blinds in Sweden, though.
I do have blinds, but they're up. I never use them. And in the kitchen, I have those stupid little mini curtains just across the top of the window.
The bottom of the window?
Top.
No, you have them at the bottom, you idiot.
how do you hang a curtain at the bottom of the window and it drops upwards? You hang it at the top of the window and it drops down.
No, you don't, you idiot. They're called something. They go across the middle. There's a little pole going across the middle of the window and they drop down.
No.
It's to stop people looking into the kitchen.
No, well, I want them to look in. That's the whole fucking point.
So you have your little curtains at the top of the window.
Just a little, so
Well, what purpose do they serve?
I don't know. I'm not a homemaker.
Clearly not.
I've wondered what the fuck I'm going to do with these. I can't even remember how I got them. I think there might have been a gift from some thoughtless fucker. Here, I have these curtains. That'll be wonderful. And what? Couldn't even use that as a miniskirt in the 60s.
Oh, my God. Have you got snow?
Yeah, of course.
So it has been snowing?
It hasn't been snowing as such. I think we've had a couple of episodes of snow, but it's only snowed once and it hasn't gone away.
All right, because we had -degrees last week, -10, -11, but now it's going to be plus for a few days, unfortunately.
I see you're going to lose it all again.
So it's going to go all again. But, we are getting a bit of winter. The ski slopes are making snow, so that's good.
Are they busy?
What, making snow?
No, I mean just generally busy with customers.
Well, not now they're not, because, the season is getting later and later. Last year, they definitely struggled to open for Christmas. There might have been, my one, just up the road, there might have been one slope open for Christmas. And then, obviously, they're... What?
Is it Ski Star?
God, no, we're not that sophisticated. Yes, under Bayet. Yes, under Mountain. And luckily, we did have quite a lot of snow. So the actual, what do they call it? The sport break, half term in English.
Sport Louvre.
Half term. There was good snow, so they had a very good season last year in the end. But no, Christmas, there's virtually no snow, and they definitely have made most of it themselves. I don't go skiing anymore. I don't. Did you? You obviously never went skiing.
What do you mean, obviously?
Well, you used to be an ice skater.
Yeah, no, skiing wasn't for me. I could just look at a pair of skis and both legs would break immediately.
Yeah. In fact, you bought those very expensive skates, didn't you?
Yeah.
And are you able to use them with your leg?
No. I had them for nearly a year before it actually became ice again.
Yeah.
And as the first opportunity, I took them, went to the skating place that we normally go to.
Yeah.
And I got them on and I could barely stand up. I mean, I was like...
Bambi on ice.
It was awful. It was such a difference in 1 year from being a very confident and competent skater to being somebody who could bear... My legs were shaking, my knees were going. It was like, how does this happen in just a year?
And as I recall, weren't your skates custom fitted with some expansion foam malarkey?
Yeah.
So you can't even sell them unless you find someone else with identically deformed feet.
They can be reshaped.
Oh, they can?
You just put them in the oven.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What size feet are you? 23?
I didn't go to fucking clown school. What are you talking about?
What do you mean 23 is ridiculously small? That's like a 3 or something.
I think my skates are 42 and a half or 40. Yeah.
Oh, 40, I could have them then. 44 I am.
42 and a half. No, but they were tight because I'm a 42 or a 41. I can't remember, but I got my size, but they were too tight. So I had to take them back.
Because they were thousands, as I recall. They were like 7,000 or something stupid.
Yeah, they were quite expensive.
Like that's £400 or £500 on a pair.
It's a lot more than that.
No.
What, 7,000 crowns?
Were they?
Quid.
The way you spend the money you don't have, Andy, is quite incredible.
Can't take it with you, Mark.
Very good point. Excellent point.
There's a lesson there for you. It's about time you got generous with your friends. With the only friend you've got in life. Anyway, enough nonsense.
What do you mean? Well, oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
We've got to start doing this. Right. So Luke was in touch with me. We had a little chat.
Yes.
He asked me if I'd ever seen this TV series called Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
No, I've never heard of that, actually.
No, me neither. But apparently it's sort of like our podcast. They basically take a selection of stories, weird, wonderful, ghost, supernatural, alien, and they present a selection of these stories every episode, but some of them are fake and some of them are true, and you have to guess which is fake and which is true.
What do you mean that's not going to be much of a challenge on this thing? How much truth do we ever give out? It's all fake stuff on this channel.
How dare you?
It's all fake news. It's phony.
Oh, well done. Well done. Excellent, Andy. You've been waiting to use that one again.
I've invested my time and patience and research abilities into this program. There's nothing fake about this show. But today, there will be something fake about this show because your task...
Oh, yes, is to determine which is fake and which is true.
You will need a pen and a paper.
What?
Yes, because I'm going to tell you a series of stories, and at the end, we're going to have a little recap, and you're going to tell me which one is which.
It's lucky I'm in my office.
You're probably the only person on this planet I know that actually owns a pen and paper.
Pen, paper.
Oh, dear God.
How many stories? Because I want to get this organised.
6.
So if I write the numbers 1 to 6, that should cover it.
Well, you could also write the titles as they come up.
I can still write. Look.
And you can count.
Or to 6 anyway. Exactly.
What happens when you run out of fingers? There's the problem.
Oh, God, I talk it just very, very briefly. There was this, again, thing on whatever it was, Facebook or something, with this kid who had a series of 4-digit numbers randomly selected. 4-digit number appears on the screen for half a second. And I think it was either 60 or 100 of these things just flash up in front of him, and he adds them together. In that time, he's able to add 4-digit numbers.
Yeah, but where's the career in that?
It was just an amazing feat of mental arithmetic.
It's not like you're going to have a great West End show that runs for years. I mean, all right, it's a fantastic ability, but where's the money?
What do you mean? He's probably working for Goldman Sachs now, even though he's only 5 or 12 or however old he was. He's got a job in Goldman Sachs in their risk management department.
Would you want to work for that bunch of corrupt fuckers?
No, I wouldn't. I left that business, if you remember. Anyway, 1 to 6. And the first story is... I'll tell you what.
Don't rush me. I've got a whole thing I've put together here.
All right. I'll tell you what, just to make it interesting for you, I'm going to write down before you start whether it's true or false, and then at the end and see if I change. Just give me the title.
Just calm your tits.
I'm enjoying this.
Anyone who's clicked on this episode by accident, I apologise. But hopefully you're too polite to leave. So I'm going to host and guide you through this fog of mystery, the mist of the unknown, and the light drizzle of questionable storytelling. Tonight,
Oh, hang on.
today,
Am I allowed to interrupt as usual and shout bollocks at you, for instance?
you can do what you like. You
All right, carry on.
If I say no, is that going to make any difference?
No, no, it's
Exactly.
not.
So today, or tonight, or this morning, depending on where you are and when you're listening, we're going to explore 6 tales, 6 very mysterious, confounding, unsettling, and occasionally nonsense stories. Some of them truly happened. Others are pure fiction. And it's your job to guess which is which. Now, don't look behind you. I'm looking at you. This is your moment. Think of yourself as a detective, minus the badge, and do whatever detectives normally do, besides drinking lukewarm coffee and eating donuts. So this TV show, I thought I would look at a couple of episodes and see the format and how it worked. But then I saw that it started in America in 1997 and it's still going.
Oh, really?
And I thought, there's no way I'm watching any of that because I'll either fall down a rabbit hole and I'll be stuck watching it non-stop for like 4 months. So I just worked out more or less how the format is, and we're just going to steal it. So there it is.
Can you copyright a format?
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
So the show is hosted by a guy called Jonathan Frakes, and he asks questions like, do you believe this story actually happened? Have you ever eaten your own weight in pancakes? Is your printer haunted? Or do you just not know how to use your printer? So after each story, I'll ask you to decide fact or fiction, and then at the end, we'll reveal the whole truth. And no matter how well you feel you do, you are allowed to brag afterwards, even if you get every single one wrong. So settle in, adjust your headphones, make sure your door's locked. And if you're listening in the dark, you might well want to turn on a light. But you do you. Now,
you need to practice fading.
I can do fading. Watch.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Yeah, but that's too professional. We don't do professional here. Right, so our first story is called The Lights on Sycamore Lane. Now, I've fucked you with the word sycamore, haven't I?
It's a tree, type of tree.
Yes, but how do you spell it?
Hang on, I'm struggling with the lights on Sycamore. S-Y-C-H or without an H?
Without an H.
Amore, A-M-O-R-E.
Yes.
Sycamore Street or Lane? Lane. Country?
Well, of course it's in America. Do you want the postcode?
No.
Our first story comes from a very quiet neighborhood in Wisconsin, Sycamore Lane, one of those peaceful cul-de-sacs where every house looks like it came with a free golden retriever and a rule against spicy food. It was the kind of place where nothing...
Hang on. That's a bit dodgy to start with. A rule against spicy food. What does that imply? You're not back on your...
We're basic. We're basic American, middle America.
All right. Pancakes for breakfast, steak for dinner.
Steaks, and that's... Anything
All right.
other than that is muck.
All right.
So it was the kind of place where nothing strange ever happened until the lights began.
Oh dear.
And it started on a Tuesday evening at 9:14 p.m. precisely. According to multiple neighbours, a very few bored teenagers, and one retired maths teacher who checked her watch compulsively, the streetlights flickered. Not just a normal flicker, not the power company is doing maintenance again type flicker. Instead, the lights began blinking in a very steady pattern. 3 flashes, 2 flashes, 3 flashes, over and over again.
And what's the Morse code for that?
Well, 3 flashes is S.
No, it's not. It's dot. Oh, it is dot 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 dot. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. That's SOS, isn't it? Dot 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 dash 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 dot dot dot.
Yes. Can I continue?
Yes.
So, was it Morse code, a prank, or a raccoon on drugs just climbing the utility pole? One homeowner, Diane Rydell, thought it might be a transformer problem. Another, her neighbour Evan, suspected aliens. But to be fair, Evan suspected aliens a lot. When his mail went missing, aliens. When his power bill went up, aliens. When he forgot where he parked at Target, definitely aliens. But the lights kept blinking night after night, and always at the same time, 9:14 p.m, and always the same pattern. Finally, frustrated and a little spooked, the neighbours called the power company. A technician named Carl, late 40s, overworked, underpaid, and 2 days away from quitting for real this time, was sent out to investigate. Carl climbed the pole. He checked circuits, wires, fuses. He even checked a squirrel nest because in his experience, 80% of electrical problems were caused by squirrels, and the other 20% were caused by squirrels pretending to be something else. But everything was normal. He was about to descend when he noticed something. A light much smaller than the bulb, blinking from inside the streetlight's metal casing, blinking in the exact same pattern. Carl unscrewed the casing. Inside, taped neatly to the interior frame, was a tiny device, a transmitter, battery-powered, still warm. As he held it, the blinking stopped, and so did all the streetlights. They went completely dark. Neighbours came out of their houses, confused and nervous. Carl descended slowly, holding the device like a bomb expert carrying something that definitely wasn't covered in the employee handbook. He handed it over to the police, and they sent it to a state lab. A week later, the lab issued a statement. The device was not a transmitter. It wasn't a sensor. It wasn't anything at all identifiable. No manufacturer, no serial number, no known circuitry, not even a recognizable battery type. Just a small box that had somehow made the lights blink until the moment it was discovered. The blinking never returned. Nobody ever found out who put the box there or how long it had been there. So tell me, was this mysterious device real? An unsolved case logged by a small-town utility company? Or was it just a tale cooked up by a writer who spends too much time staring at streetlights?
I would say the only anomaly in the story is, would a utility worker go out at night to climb a telephone pole?
If you want to see what the problem is with your own eyes, then you know it's going to occur at 9:14 p.m.
Anyway, it's not that strange. It's certainly doable. The technology is there, so I will say that is true. Number 1, lights on Sycamore Lane, true.
Okay. Number 2, the customer who never ordered.
Oh, have I got to write this down? I can't spell customer. Anyway, the customer who never ordered. Yes.
So this story comes from Maple Junction, a small Midwestern town known for 3 things. 1, the world's most aggressively friendly post office clerk. 2, a water tower that looks vaguely judgmental. And 3, a 24-hour diner called Betty's Place, where breakfast is served all day and life advice is served whether you ask for it or not. The night shift at Betty's was usually uneventful. Regulars came and went, truckers grabbing pie, students cramming for exams, and the occasional insomniac who just wanted to stare into a cup of coffee like it held the secrets of the universe. But one night, something unusual happened. It was 2:17 a.m. when the bell above the front door chimed. In walked a man.
Hang on, that wasn't a bell.
Well,
That was a clock.
It was 2:17 a.m.
Yeah, but you should have done a bell.
This was for a different story. That clock will be back. In walked a man, tall, thin, wearing a grey suit, and an expression that sort of said he hadn't slept since the Eisenhower administration.
Oh dear, that was the 1950s.
Now, the waitress on duty, Carla, greeted him with the kind of cheerfulness that only exists in people who've had 12 cups of coffee and have given up on sleep completely. Sit anywhere, she said. Booths are warmer, counters quicker, bathroom door sticks, choose your own adventure. So the man nodded and sat in a booth by the window. He didn't look at the menu. He simply placed his hands on the table, folded neatly together, and stared straight ahead, not at Carla, not at the door, not at anything. Carla approached. What can I get you tonight? The man didn't say anything. He didn't blink. He just kept staring. Carla waited. She was used to odd customers. She once had a man spend 45 minutes explaining why toast is a government conspiracy, but this was strange even for her. She tried again. Coffee, water, anything? Finally, the man spoke. His voice was low, calm, almost mechanical. I am waiting. For what? Carla asked. For her. Her who? He didn't answer. Carla walked back to the counter, confused. She asked the cook, Walt, what he made of it. Walt looked over his newspaper just long enough to grunt. Walt had decided long ago that if something weird wasn't actively on fire, it didn't really concern him. Minutes passed. The man didn't move, didn't speak, and didn't adjust his posture. At 2:31, the bell chimed again.
We don't have a bell.
One eternity later. One eternity later.
A woman walked in, mid-30s, hurrying, wearing a business suit, wrinkled. She glanced around before her eyes locked on the man in the booth, and she looked stunned. Then angry, then frightened. Carla watched as the woman approached the booth and hissed, "How did you find me?" The man responded evenly, "You're late." "I don't know who you are," the woman snapped. "Stay away from me." The man stood slowly, precisely, like each movement had been pre-programmed. "You made a mistake on Tuesday," he said. "I am here to correct it." The woman backed away, bumping into a table. You can't. Look, I called the police already." "You didn't," the man replied. "Your phone battery died at 11:47 p.m. You put it in your purse and you forgot." The woman froze. Carla felt a chill crawl down her spine. "Okay," the woman said, voice shaking. "Who are you?" The man stared at her for several seconds and then said, "You will not remember." And then he walked out. He didn't run, didn't threaten, just opened the door, stepped into the cold night air and disappeared down the street. The woman just stood there shaking. Carla rushed over to her. "Are you okay? Do you want to sit? Do you want some water?" The woman took a deep breath. I don't know what that was. I've never seen him before in my life. "Do you want me to call the police?" The woman nodded. Carla called. Officers arrived. They searched the area. There were no footprints in the fresh frost. No security footage showing the man approaching or leaving. He simply wasn't there. When they questioned the woman, she couldn't recall what she'd been doing earlier that evening. Not at 9 o'clock, not at 10, not at 11:47 when her phone supposedly died. It was all a blank. As for the man, he was never seen again. No one ever figured out what mistake the woman supposedly made or what the man intended to correct. Some customers at Betty's swear that the booth where he sat is always unusually cold. Others say that's just because the window insulation isn't very good. So, was this encounter documented in an actual police report, or is it nothing more than a carefully seasoned slice of fiction, served fresh from the kitchen of imagination?
False.
Okay, story number 3. The clock that ran backwards.
Is that, I can't tell if that clock is running backwards or not.
Let's just assume.
Tick, tick, tick is running backwards as opposed to tick, tick, tick running forwards.
Yes.
Well, you can't tell a difference.
Now, well, you can tell a difference if you can see the clock. But obviously, as we're a podcast, you can't see it.
Right, number 3, the clock that ran backwards.
Yes. Our third tale, it takes us to a small antique shop in Vermont. A place where every shelf holds a story. Every dusty corner whispers a secret, and every price tag is about 20% higher than it should be. The owner, a man named Lyle Markham, had been collecting oddities for decades, but his pride and joy was a brass carriage clock from the late 1800s, intricate gears, hand-painted face, and a ticking sound so soothing you could fall asleep standing up. Shit.
That's the wrong button, you idiot.
There was just one issue. Once every few months, the clock ran backwards. Not slowly, not glitching, but perfectly, smoothly, as if time itself had decided to hit the rewind button. But only for 3 hours, not a minute more or less. Lyle thought it was some kind of mechanical flaw until he noticed something stranger. Every time the clock reversed, so too did the shop's security cameras. They didn't record backward footage. The timestamps themselves reversed, counting down instead of up. One night, Lyle decided to stay after closing and observe. He set up a chair, brewed a cup of strong tea, and waited. At precisely 11:03, the clock stopped ticking. All the sound in the shop seemed to hush. Then, but backwards. Lyle checked the security monitor. The timestamp read 10:59, 10:58, 10:57. His hands shook as he reached for the clock. The brass felt warm, too warm. Then he heard footsteps. Behind him, slow, heavy, and deliberate. He turned around. There was nobody there. But the footsteps continued, circling him, like someone walking just out of reach. Suddenly, the shop lights flickered. One shelf collapsed. A stack of books flew open, pages riffling in the reversed order, as if something invisible was flipping them back towards the beginning. Then, silence. 3 hours later, the clock resumed its normal ticking, the cameras corrected, the shop returned to normal. Lyle, shaken, called a horologist. Now, I always thought a horologist was something completely different.
Isn't a horologist someone who does paranormal stuff?
No, a horologist is a clockmaker.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even though it's got the word horror in the beginning.
See, my joke again just went completely over your head.
To tell you made a joke.
Horologist.
Oh, for God's sake. You're right. That did go right over my head.
So, yeah, it's a real profession and not what it sounds like. Called the horologist to examine the clock. And this expert took the clock apart piece by piece, and then he frowned. This isn't possible, he said. There's nothing inside this clock that could cause it to run backwards. Not mechanically, not theoretically. It's built to run in only one direction. He paused, and there's something else. What? Lyle asked. This clock has no maker's mark, not a stamp, not a signature, nothing, and that never happens. A week later, Lyle sold the clock to a private collector who paid cash and refused to leave his name. So the phenomenon never happened again in the store. But 2 months later, Lyle received a package. No return address. Inside was a DVD labelled only with a date and a time. The exact date and time that the clock last reversed. Everything on the footage looked normal until the final seconds. A figure appeared behind Lyle in the shop. Tall, dark and featureless, just standing there, watching him. And then, right before the timestamp hit 0, the figure leaned forward as if whispering something into Lyle's ear. But that's where the footage ends. Lyle moved out of Vermont soon after. He never told anyone what happened during those 3 hours, just that the clock had never been the strangest thing in the room. So now it's your turn. Did an antique shop truly document a clock running in reverse while timestamps rewound? Or is this story nothing more than a ticking time bomb of pure fiction?
I would like to say it's so fantastical, but these sort of things, it's difficult because you're phrasing the question, because the previous one was did someone file a police report describing the situation?
That actually happened.
Well, of course not. People file police reports about all sorts of bollocks. But I think this is so fantastical that I'm going to say true. Yes, we like that story of the clock running backwards, caught on security cameras.
So
I like a bit of evidence.
Our fourth tale begins on Highway 27, just outside Pine Bluff in Arkansas.
Doesn't exist.
It does. A long stretch of road where mile markers outnumber people, and the scenery mostly consists of trees, judging you silently as you drive past.
This is a Yeti story. Bigfoot.
It is an animal.
Oh.
It was late and it was foggy. The kind of night when headlights look like floating orbs and every shadow feels like it's planning something. Tricia Myers, a veterinary technician driving home after a double shift, was fighting sleep when she saw something up ahead. A raccoon sitting calmly on the shoulder of the road near exit 14. And this wasn't unusual. But what was unusual was that the raccoon was staring directly at her headlights. Not startled, not moving, just staring. And as Tricia passed, the raccoon raised one paw.
And waved. Ah.
Like a wave. Tricia's first thought was, I need sleep. Her second thought was, no, seriously, I need sleep. Her third thought was, okay, fine, I'll turn around. She made a U-turn at the next pull-off and looped back towards exit 14. The raccoon was gone, but something was on the ground where it had been sitting. A wallet. A human's wallet, not a raccoon's wallet. Tricia pulled over, picked it up, and checked the ID inside. The owner was a man named Eric Dalton, local address, early 30s, and a photo where he looked a little bit too confident in his haircut. She drove to the address listed, a small house with the porch light on. She rang the bell, and a woman answered, tired-eyed, wrapped in a robe. "Can I help you?" she asked. Tricia held up the wallet. "I found this on the highway. Is Eric here?" The woman froze and then whispered, "This isn't funny." Tricia blinked. I don't know what you mean. I just found it." The woman stared at her for several seconds before saying, "My husband died 2 weeks ago. Car accident near exit 14. Tricia's stomach dropped. "I'm so sorry," she said. "I didn't know." The woman hesitated, then said quietly, "The police never found his wallet. They thought maybe it flew out of the car." Tricia handed it to her gently. The woman opened it with shaking hands. Everything was intact. Cash, cards, even a movie ticket stub. "I don't understand," Tricia said. "It was just sitting there by the road." The widow nodded slowly. Eric used to joke that if he ever got lost, he'd send one of those raccoons near the exit to help him find his way home. She gave a sad laugh. He loved those ugly little fuckers. Tricia didn't know what to say. She offered condolences, returned to her car, and drove home a little troubled. But the story doesn't end there.
Oh, there's more.
A week later, Tricia was driving home again. Same road, same exit, same raccoon, sitting in the same spot, staring at her. Before she could decide what to do, a car ahead of her swerved. Its tyre blew. It spun into oncoming traffic. Tricia slammed on her brakes and a crash shook the highway. Emergency crews arrived. The driver survived, barely. When police reviewed the incident later, they told Tricia her quick reaction prevented a multi-car pileup. She mentioned the raccoon, but they shrugged it off. That night, when she drove home again, she checked exit 14 carefully. No raccoon, no animals at all. Just a quiet, empty road. Tricia still swears she saw it twice. Once to return a man's wallet, and once to save her life. Coincidence? Imagination? Or something else guiding her on the lonely stretch of highway? So is this tale of the exit 14 raccoon something that truly happened? Was it documented in a real local paper? Or is it simply a criticised serving of fiction?
Well, again, you see, you're asking the question, was it, reported in a local... I mean, anything can be reported in a local newspaper.
A lot of girls where I grew up used to throw themselves in front of cars so they could get run over, just so they could be referred to as attractive in the local newspaper.
God's sake. I mean, was it reported in the local newspaper? If that's the question.
The way I'm phrasing the question, is it fact or is it fiction? Don't take any clues from the way I pose that question.
No, it's too boring for it. That's fiction. But I want to check, what was the route number? I've written Route 47, exit 14. Was it Route 47?
No, I think it was
28. 27, was it?
Yeah.
All right.
So story number 5.
Yes.
The house that answered back.
Oh, no. This is definitely true.
So our 5th tale takes us to New Hampshire, where old colonial homes are as common as cold winters and people insisting they can feel a storm coming in their knees. The home in question belonged to the Nagel family. Dad, Mum, teenage daughter, and a cat named Mr. Whiskerson, who stared at walls.
No, it's false.
What do you mean?
It's false. You don't have to cat. There's no cat. Who on earth would name their cat Mr. Whiskerson?
You'd be amazed. I've
just
met
bollocks.
cats called Sir Mittens of Doncaster.
6. We're on to 6.
Mr. Whiskerson, who stared at walls far too often to be considered emotionally stable. The Nagels had lived in this house for 8 years before anything strange happened. It was a quiet life, Homework, board games, arguments about who forgot to close the cereal box. But then one evening, 14-year-old Julia Nagel decided to stay home while her parents went grocery shopping. She sat at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone, ignoring homework like a teenager in full normal. And that's when she heard it. A voice, faint, muffled, coming from the wall behind her. At first she thought it was the TV, but the TV was off. Then she thought maybe it was a neighbour, but the houses were far apart and the walls were thick. She leaned closer. The voice was clearer now, a whisper. Julia.
Oh dear, what was her name?
Julia.
Oh really? So they got the name right.
Julia froze. Goosebumps. Every hair on her arm stood up and auditioned for a horror movie. Then the voice whispered again. Help me.
Oh dear.
Julia backed away from the wall so fast that she nearly tripped over Mr. Whiskerson. Mr. Whiskerson, helpful as always, bolted from the room, contributing absolutely nothing to this crisis. Julia called her parents. They came home. Her father knocked on the wall, listened, and finally said the 3 words all terrified children get to hear. It's probably mice. That night, nothing else happened. But the next afternoon, when the whole family was home, the voice returned, louder, desperate. Let me out.
Who's that character in the Ring of the Rings, Lord of the Rings? That sort of little gremlin character.
Schmeagol.
You sound a bit like Schmeagol.
Ah, my precious.
Exactly, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Schmeagol.
Mrs. Nagel. Mrs. Nagel.
Rhymes with the...
grabbed her phone and called the police. And within minutes, officers arrived and listened at the wall, and they heard it too. We'll need to open this, one officer said. They cut into the drywall. Everyone was holding their breath. Behind the wall, they found nothing. No crawl space, no trapped person, no animals, just framing, insulation, and a support beam. But as the hole was being patched, the voice whispered again, this time directly behind the worker repairing the wall. He jumped off that ladder so fast he nearly invented a new Olympic sport. Okay, he said, grabbing his tools. Nope, I quit. Over the next week, the voice returned randomly, calling names, asking for help, whispering unintelligible words, sometimes laughing softly in a way that made the cat hiss and leave the room backwards. Experts were brought in, a plumber, an electrician, an audio engineer, a paranormal investigator with a ponytail and too many crystals. But none of them found a cause. Finally, an old man from the local historical society visited. He studied the wall carefully, tapping the beams with a knuckle. This house, he said, was built on the foundation of an older home from the 1700s. The Nagels nodded because they'd heard of this before. Do you know what happened to that house? He asked. They didn't. The man hesitated. It burned down with a person trapped in the cellar, and they were never recovered. He pointed at the wall. The original foundation runs right behind here. The Nagels moved out 2 weeks later, and the house was put up for sale. The listing price mysteriously dropped every few months. Julia refused to ever enter the house again. Mr. Whiskerson, however, stares at that direction from a distance with the intensity of someone who definitely knows more than he's telling. So tell me, did a real New Hampshire family report a house that whispered through the walls? Or was this entire tale whispered straight from my imagination?
Fiction. Too much detail. Firstly, a cat called Mr. Whiskerson is absolute bollocks, and I've never seen a cat reverse out of a room.
You've got no experience of animals.
What? So you're saying you've seen your cats in reverse?
I've seen cats do that.
No.
Did you not ever watch Tom and Jerry?
Yes, exactly. Fiction, true, false, true, fiction, fiction.
So our final story takes us to Colorado, where the mountains look majestic, the air is crisp, and tourists try to take pictures of everything, including moose that very clearly do not want their picture taken. Our protagonist is a man called Jordan Reyes, an amateur photographer who took weekend hikes with a camera strapped around his neck and the sincere belief that he was just one shot away from going viral.
Or getting the virus.
Yeah. One early morning, Jordan hiked a trail near Grey Wolf Ridge. The fog was thick, softening the world around him like a dream. He snapped photos of branches, rocks, and anything that looked like it could earn him some social media likes. Around 7:15 in the morning, he heard footsteps behind him. He turned around. There was a woman stood a few yards away, early 20s, pale, wearing a vintage blue dress far too thin for the cold. She wasn't shivering, she wasn't carrying anything, and she wasn't exactly smiling, more like observing him. Jordan lowered his camera. Good morning. Didn't hear you come up. The woman said nothing. Do you need help? He asked. Lost? Cold? Lost and cold? Still nothing. Jordan felt a chill, not just from the air. He took a step forward. Are you okay? The woman tilted her head slightly. Then she vanished. Not in a puff of smoke, and not with a sound, just gone. One moment there, the next, empty trail. Jordan stumbled back, heart racing. He aimed his camera at the spot instinctively and snapped a photo with his hands shaking. For the rest of the hike, he kept hearing footsteps behind him, soft, matching his pace. But whenever he turned around, nobody. When he got home, Jordan transferred the photos to his laptop. Most were normal, a few blurry, one of his thumb, classic. But then he reached the final image, the one he took after the woman disappeared. And there, in the center of the frame, was the woman in the blue dress, standing exactly where she had been before, staring straight into the camera. But her face was different. Her eyes were sunken, her skin was grey, her expression was blank. And behind her, half visible in the fog, was a second figure, taller, shadow-like, standing just over her shoulder. Jordan jolted back from the screen. He zoomed in, pixels blurred, and the figures dissolved into digital noise. He zoomed out again. The image was gone. The file had vanished. He checked the camera. No image. He checked the SD card. Nothing. He checked the backups. Zero. The file had existed, and then it hadn't. Jordan posted his experience on a hiking forum. A few people mocked him, a few believed him, and one user messaged him privately claiming, "You're not the first person to see her." Jordan didn't sleep that night, and to this day he avoids that trail, and he hasn't taken another photo since. So, was Jordan's vanishing photo based on a real, unexplained hiking incident? Or is this story nothing more than fog-soaked fiction?
True.
So you're confident in your...
Absolutely. Yes.
Confident in your answers?
Absolutely. We like the... are we going to go through them now?
Yeah, you've heard the stories. You've made your guesses.
Right. Lights on the lights on Sycamore Lane. That was the flashing lights. ... dash.
Sycamore Lane, yes.
I wrote that down as true. Anybody could fitted a device. That's not particularly unusual.
While mysterious devices do turn up on power lines from time to time, this exact blinking pattern mystery was created specifically for this episode. Carl is safe. The Squirrel Union remains innocent. for now.
Oh, what? So it's Falk.
It was fake.
Oh, no. So that's not good. I fell at the first bloody hurdle. All right. So what do I get? A cross for that? Yeah.
Yep. So story number 2, the customer who never ordered.
I wrote that down as false. But again, did they make a police report? Anybody could make a police report about any old bollocks.
This one is real.
Ah.
The police report from a Midwestern diner describes the unidentified man who entered a restaurant, spoke cryptically to a woman, and left without being found on any footage on any camera. The woman later claimed to have missing memories from earlier in the night, and no explanation was ever discovered.
All right.
So story number 3, you're doing really well.
So the clock that ran backwards, I thought that was a good one. I like that. So I said that was true.
While antique clocks can behave strangely, and horologists really do exist, there's no confirmed case of timestamps ever reversing for hours. Also, The spooky figure on the DVD, pure imagination.
Oh, no. I'm doing very well. I'll tell you what, statistically, to have got 0 out of 3 when you got 50-50 each way.
Yeah, I mean, you should do the lottery.
Clearly.
You're guaranteed to lose.
All right, we're already up to Route 27, exit 14. That was the waving raccoon. I wrote that down as fiction.
Okay, the wallet incident is true. And it was reported in a local Arkansas paper around 2017. The raccoon also reported, but can't verify whether or not it was waving. But the part about saving Trisha from the crash is, of course, her own anecdote.
Right. But it was reported. So, I mean, again, anything can be reported.
It's a true story.
All right. Yeah. So then we got the house that answered back, hello, save me. I wrote that down as fiction.
Although many older homes do have strange acoustics and the occasional creepy history, there's no verified case of a disembodied voice speaking clearly through the walls of an intact home.
I got one right.
Although Mr. Whiskerson is probably absolutely real somewhere.
What? How can you shout for a cat called Mr. Whiskerson? No. Listen, no. Food time, Mr. Whiskerson.
Google strange cat names and you'll be amazed at what comes up.
Right, so the last one is Jordan Ray's.
Yes.
And I wrote true.
And it is actually true. There was a Colorado hiker who claimed a woman vanished on a foggy trail and his photo disappeared from all his devices. No image was ever recovered. Skeptics blame file corruption. Believers blame something else entirely.
Well, that's pretty crappy. I mean, 2 out of 6.
Which just shows that you're pretty fucking naive and gullible.
Well, you know that. Oh dear. Oh, that was a good little format.
Yeah, it was kind of fun to do. It's actually quite a lot of work putting together 6 little stories.
6 little stories.
So thanks for that, Luke. You fucker.
Well done, Luke. Good idea. Next time I must do better. That will be my report card for this episode.
You didn't
must try harder.
You basically scored 33%. Not even close to a C.
Yes, you're right. 2 out of 6. It's not basically. It is 33.3%.
Well, it's basically 33%, but it's exactly 33.3.
3 recurring. Anyway, yes, well done. Good.
So, that brings us to the end of this week's wonderful episode of Strange Stuff Podcast. A little longer than normal.
Yeah.
Join us again next week, where we will be talking about one of my personal heroes.
Ronnie Craig. Wasn't it the Cray? Ronnie Cray.
Cray, but he is not a personal hero.
Well, why would you call your cat after him?
because he's a twin.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, it would have been Mr. Whiskerson.
So come on, why don't you tell the viewers, the listeners, what your personal hero is, so they know what the story's about?
That defeats the whole object of the whole structure of this show. It gives you an opportunity to look the guy up and then come at me with some obscure fact that I've obviously missed in my
Overlooked
research.
Exactly.
Anyway, you'll find out in due course.
Yes.
In the meantime, have yourselves a strange week. I don't know, just don't have...
Oh, actually, the listeners may notice, of course, that the news, as reported by us earlier on, is actually a week early because I'm away for a week. So this episode's going to be delayed a week.
So, in fact, the news is a week late.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes. We have recorded 2 episodes in 1 week. Where are you going and why?
UK, it's the boys' lunch. Christmas lunch with
Christmas
the boys.
Time. Oh, God damn it. That means I've got to find a Christmas episode. Oh, my life is so hard.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway.
All righty, very good.
Have yourselves a great week. We'll see you next time.
Yep.
Have a good one. Goodbye for now.
Bye for now.